Sean, you played a little bit. Did anything stand out to you?
So I played the behind closed doors demo at Gamescom.
Yep.
And I was lucky enough where I had a lot of time, so I played all 3 classes. And
Nice.
But the one I wanted to really point out was the Titan ability. There's this, it's either called Meltdown or Melting Point. I can't remember. Melting Point, yeah. And basically anything that you damage, which causes it to burn, gives your teammates added damage to them as well.
It's
damage.
the melee. If you hit them with a fully charged melee, they will instantly take crit damage and increase crit damage. So
from teammates.
From teammates and yourself.
So
Right.
you effectively
There you go.
ignite them with this? Like it's like boom, and they're ignited for a period of time. And during that period of time, they get this crit damage.
Yep.
That's
yeah,
cool.
and so one of the things that I love about this is, again, coming from a very traditional MMORPG background, like abilities that help your team are so invaluable, right? Like, and I think a lot of the talents, like particularly in the old subclasses, need to be reworked to kind of have this new mentality, because let's be honest, there's a lot of these nodes in the old subclasses that are basically throwaway. Like they're nonsense. No one uses them, or only people use them
very
because
rare.
it gives you like the Circle of Life. I also play a hunter, right? Like no one ever uses that for its intended effect. We only use it because it gives you a slight armor boost, and those need to be reworked so that either they're actually giving people who play those subclasses a reason to choose that talent, or you choose that talent because it's a benefit to not just you but your whole team.
Yeah.
So Melting Point is one of these abilities that I'm really excited to use because it's going to be benefiting not just me but my teammates the whole time.
Yeah, I'm curious to see like how the perks line up to work in PvE versus PvP. I mean, I think that's always an important balance, and I want to feel like I should use different stuff. So yeah, we'll kind of see where that goes. One thing that stood out to me, since I'm a Warlock player, it's kind of convenient that we each talk about one. This was not planned. But did you see anyone using Iconic Blink from the subclass? So
Yes.
So for PvP,
Wait.
Iconic.
Okay,
Is it
so-
Ionic Blink? I think it's
Ionic.
Ionic Blink.
Yeah.
That makes
Ionic
way more
Blink.
sense.
So basically it's a blink that can only be used during the super.
During Storm Trance, yeah.
Yeah.
But it allowed you to blink with the L stick, on just moving, and does it work? It sounds really interesting in PvP.
Yeah, it works really well. It's a very rapid blink, so there's not the little charge up time that's kind of associated with blink. It just instantly does it, but I believe it takes a little bit of the super as well.
Right.
But
what is it? How does it work? Meaning, normally a blink, you jump forward or up in a trajectory, but if you use this blink, where do you blink to?
I believe it goes based off like normal blink. It's based on your momentum. So if you just jumped and you hit it, then you're going to go upwards. However, if you're just running straight forward, you'll go straight forward.
Okay, so it's going to give you an additional kind of blink boost in the middle of it during Storm Trance. Anyway, thought it sounded very interesting. There's a lot more that they showed in the stream, so be sure to check it out. We're going to move on to the next topic, which is, of course, the changes to Nightfall and the weekly strikes. So, for starters, the Nightfall is not the same at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, it was really surprising. It kind of came out of left field for me. I didn't know that this was coming. So here's roughly some of the biggest things that are changing. So the death penalty for being kicked out of orbit, they said often leads to players feeling like they're forced to play too safe, right? And I would agree with that. So you're not going to get kicked to orbit anymore.
When you wipe.
When you wipe, yeah. When all 3 of you wipe, you're not going to get kicked to orbit. Well, yeah. And then the Nightfall buff, it got players feeling like, I got to finish this right away, so all the rest of my thing. And it just wasn't their intended effect. They wanted it to be something cool to show off that, your head's like on fire or whatever. So it's taken out for now. They've adjusted the XP and some of the stuff there to account for that, they say. It will require level 40 for the Nightfall. And now, instead of, returning to orbit for the fire team, it uses a 30-second timeout penalty.